The Chicago Bulls last night took a loss, 129 to 112 to the Boston Celtics, and it was very, very evident that the Chicago Bulls have a lot of work to do before we consider a lot of things for this team. We're going to talk about it and break it down. But you got to hear the music first. Cognac, gang. Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode of Shy Bulls podcast. If you tuned in with me today, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell as well. Now, last night, the Chicago Bulls faced off against the Boston Celtics in the first game back from the All-Star break to finish the final stretch of the NBA season to see what the Chicago Bulls can come out and do and remain competitive, as in the words of Arturas Karnisovas. The Chicago Bulls got a lot of work to do, but let's talk about the game first. The game for the Chicago Bulls was very, very excited in the first half. I mean, it got a bit out of hand, but the Chicago Bulls fought back. It was due to a huge first half by Nikola Vucevic with his 20 points, and I believe he had 9 rebounds at the same time in the first half. But a lot went on to where the Bulls were competitive, and it was the thoughts of having, a really good game versus one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. Let's keep it a buck. We knew this game was going to be tough because the Boston Celtics, offensively, they're just too damn good. Defensively, they are a problem. And last night, it seemed like a lot of things that the Chicago Bulls did, it led to many, many things for the Chicago Bulls in that second half. The Boston Celtics pretty much came out in that second half and said, playtime is over. Enough of this playing. To where at one point in the third quarter, the Chicago Bulls, late in the third quarter, I believe was only a few minutes left, 3-4 minutes left. The Chicago Bulls at that point only had 10 points, while the Boston Celtics had about 20-something points around that point. And then the third quarter ending with the Chicago Bulls ultimately scoring 21 points in that third quarter, while the Boston Celtics scored 37. 37. The Chicago Bulls tried to fight back, tried to show a little effort, but at that point, it was bombs over Baghdad for the Chicago Bulls, and they couldn't gain their footing. They got killed in the rebounding, department, at least offensively. They actually won that battle. Excuse me. They won a rebounding battle, but it didn't matter because the Boston Celtics just went crazy from the three. The Chicago Bulls only had 10 threes made yesterday, and then the Boston Celtics had 23 threes made. Then we went out and let guys like Derek White come out, and he ended up ending the game with about 3 blocks, but it seemed like he had 6 of them. It seemed like he had about 6 of them the way he was out there playing, and as a team total, the Boston Celtics ended up with 11 blocks on the game. And it's a lot of things that you want to talk about and see what the Chicago Bulls can do and where can we go from here. We looking at the Chicago Bulls, man. I believe that the front court needs a complete retool. That's just me. I'm thinking that Nikola Vucevic, yes, I know most people love him. But I think the consensus is that a lot of people have grown tired of Nikola Vucevic BS. He's an older guy. He's very capable of putting the ball in the basket. Very, very capable. But with his defensive play style, he limits the Chicago Bulls and what they can be and do defensively. That's just my opinion on it. Then when you look at Andre Drummond, for some strange reason, Billy Donovan doesn't give him more minutes when the Chicago Bulls need every opportunity that they can at second chance points to even be competitive within this game versus the Boston Celtics. I understand there's a lot of people that's out for the Chicago Bulls, and we can, bring them up. And I understand they are key pieces to what the Chicago Bulls are trying to do. But let's keep it a buck. This is just going to be another fucking excuse for the front office to sit on their hands and not do shit. Let's keep it a buck, man. It's the same story. The same old story, the same old Bulls. Enough is enough for this. And I know it's just one game coming out of the All-Star break and they're playing the Boston Celtics. But for some strange reason, in just about majority of the games that we've played this season, the Chicago Bulls have to fall down from a crazy deficit and fight back from a crazy deficit from being down 15 points, 16 points, 20 points, and somehow, some way, they find themselves back in most of these games, and then they get us hyped up and just to lose. And that's been the problem. That's been the problem. I understand that you got your ownership that says, hey, our real fans are coming out here and paying for tickets to sit during long winter nights. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. The product is not good enough. The product is like a cake that comes out and it looks beautiful, and then when you blow out the candles, the cake at the top sinks in. It caves in. That's the type of team the Chicago Bulls is right now. And it's very, very frustrating as a fan of the team, as a supporter of the team, as a guy who follows the team, to constantly see this from the Chicago Bulls. You see most points of the game to where the Chicago Bulls can't even find easy buckets. A lot of that is due to the player in the construction of the roster. I understand, and I'm all for trying to give young guys opportunity, but there has to be a consensus of what are you doing to put these young players in the best position. I have to always come to the table and ask myself, is Billy Donovan drawing up plays for Kobe White, or are you just letting Kobe White go out here and do whatever? I have to ask that question, because you see Kobe White in certain games and certain moments be able to, brush off some of those defensive assignments that are coming off from the opposing teams. But then you get games like last night to where Kobe White, you can clearly see that he was one of the focal points from the Boston Celtics defense, and the adjustments came too late. Just like Billy Donovan left Ayo Dosunmu on an island for the entire first half against Jaylen Brown. I understand Ayo tried to put up a fight for it, but it was just getting overpowered by Jaylen Brown in that first half. And then in the second half, they decided to double team Jaylen Brown. I say that was a solid adjustment, but it came too damn late. It came too late. And let's talk about Jevon Carter. This is a player who has virtually become unplayable. He's annoying as hell. That's just what it is. The pump fakes, and more pump fakes continuously come down from Jevon Carter just hesitating to shoot. You are a guy we brought in to be that pit bull who can guard from one end of the court down to the other end of the court on defense, and then on the offensive side, be a threat from the three-point shooting, from the three-point line, but then you still get those opportunities and you blow them away. You blow it because all the damn pump faking. It's just very, very frustrating. And the Bulls have a lot of work cut out for them. I'm not saying that the Chicago Bulls should have won the game, but the Bulls had every right to be a little bit more competitive, to be much more competitive against the Boston Celtics. And I kind of want to temper my expectations a bit and just say it and look at it like this. We know the Boston Celtics are vying for a championship team, a championship. We know that the Boston Celtics is probably, it's the best team in the Eastern Conference. It's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Philly going through what they're going through. Milwaukee still trying to adjust. You got to get a nod to the Boston Celtics. So I'm not saying the Chicago Bulls should have won last night's game, but there are ample opportunities for the Chicago Bulls to lose in a more competitive game. I understand the score is 129-112, and it's a bit closer than what it was. But like I mentioned in the video yesterday, the Bulls got whooped the last time they faced the Boston Celtics. And in this game, they played around with the Chicago Bulls a little bit and then whooped them again and put belt to ass. So it's very, very frustrating. And the Bulls have a lot of work to do because The schedule is not getting easier. It's not. And somebody, shout out to Melvin, who was on our live call. He's one of the guys in support of Shy Bulls podcast. He said, maybe I think that the Bulls should explore Joe Harris. Me, I ain't gonna lie. I was a bit opposed to it. But when you go out and you watch the Chicago Bulls and you see all the injuries on the team and you see the lack of spacing that's on the floor because no one is trusting the shooting ability of Julian Phillips, the shooting ability of Dalen Terry, the shooting ability from Javon Carter, the shooting ability from Nikola Vucevic, the shooting ability of DeMar DeRozan, the floor is congested. Guys were literally sagging off of their guys and pretty much like, hey, Kobe White and DeMar DeRozan, we're not letting y'all do nothing. And that game plan, the Bulls were able to overcome it at first, and then the wheels fell off. That's why the work that needs to be done keeps piling up. And this probably just sounded like we beating a broken drum, but at the same time, enough is enough, bro. It's just very, very frustrating. You wake up and you got that sour taste in your mouth from the Chicago Bulls basketball for the simple fact that these guys are just annoying as shit. That's just what it is right now. And the thought of having a Joe Harris on the team right now is not absolutely the worst thing. Hey, what more can you wish for? You got Torrey Craig that's out. You got Patrick Williams that's still out. That's some of you guys that's pretty much needed within this team. And they won't be here for a little bit more time. So the options to go ahead and explore and look at other options, it should be done. But I'll tell you this, and I keep it a buck with you. I don't see the Chicago Bulls doing anything. They won't do anything. It's the same old Bulls, the same old story for the last 3 seasons. The Chicago Bulls are going to come out in this next game. I believe that the Chicago Bulls are going to come out in this next game, and I guarantee that it's going to be competitive, and they might even come out with a victory Sunday versus the New Orleans Pelicans. And it's going to be all okay all over again. But that's just going to be putting the makeup on the pig. That's just what it is. That's what it's going to be coming down to, man. And where do we go from here, y'all? Because the work is not done, bro. It's just very, very frustrating watching this team right now, to the point where you don't even want to watch them, to be honest with you. But as a fan of the game and supporter of the team, we watch it. That's just what it is. But hey, I'm gonna just go ahead and end it on that tip. Yeah, I could go on and on because the Chicago Bulls, the settling for mediocrity is continuing. And if you probably go look back on the videos that we did last year around this time, it's probably the same damn tone. Maybe a little bit more hyped up once Pat Bev came through and then, did his thing. But it's the same old damn tune, the same old damn story, the same old Chicago Bulls. That's it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell as well. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Cognac. Gang.